Okay. I think we're in full function mode. So what's going on, everybody? I'm back. I know I've been gone a minute. Things have been hectic. Shit has been crazy. I've been going crazy. Everybody's going crazy. So it's taken me a minute. And I know a couple people fell off because y'all motherfuckers are so damn impatient and y'all want to see shit now, all the time, right now. Like I'm here to amuse you instantly. And if I don't amuse you within them first 30 seconds, your ass is gone. Well, kick rocks, man. You're going to miss a hell of a message. My message may be slow, but it's thorough and it's well thought out and it's with many, many years of experience. So, what I'm bringing you is the real, and I'm going to bring you real, and I'm going to bring you the truth, and I'm going to bring it as I know it, because what we need now is the truth in every direction. What my show is about is really deals with the mentality of what we deal with every day, what we go through, how we make these decisions, how we move forward, and all of that is based on in an emotional state. You know, we make all of these decisions emotionally, day in and day out, and we're constantly distracted. So if you don't know me by now, that's what my message is about. So what today I'm going to talk about is snitching. And I know that's a very sensitive subject, right? It's a very sensitive subject, and it's one that many people really don't understand, I guess, because I hear people use snitching in so many different ways, and they define it in so many different ways, and they kind of like define it in how it fits to their script or their mold, you know. So I'm just going to explain what I know as snitching and what the majority of real men that I've been around know as snitching, and how to avoid it, why we do it, how we get ourselves into these positions that make us do it, and really where it comes from, you know, and what it is. So that's going to be the topic of this discussion. I'm trying to wait to see if I can get a couple people in here, man. I know it's tough, man, because, you know, I was in and out, and people may have got frustrated or whatnot because they tune in to see me live or whatnot, and it's tests. I try to put in there in the beginning that, you know, that I'm still testing my joint out, and, you know, I'm doing this all on my own. Everything that you see, I did. I don't hire nobody to do it. I just do it on my own. I learn it, I put it together, I figure it out, I test run it, things of that nature. So those that have been with me from the beginning, they know. But some of these impatient people that just, they want shit now, well, you're missing out on a lot of messages, you know what I mean? So with that being said, what I'm going to do is define what snitching is. And again, these are just my opinions. You know what I mean? I'm not nobody, man. I mean, look at me, man. I can't even get a viewer to come on here, you know what I mean? So I ain't nobody, but I'm gonna talk about what I've been through, man, and what things are, and keep things clear and straight and narrow and honest, so we can direct our lives by truth if that's what we choose to do. So what snitching is, right, is anytime you make a decision, right, you make a choice to do something that you know the consequences are going to result in an unfavorable manner for yourself, right? And when you make that choice, a lot of people already know going into the intention that if they do get caught, they'll tell on somebody. But sticking to the definition, it's specifically making a choice to do something that you know is going to have an unfavorable result for yourself and expecting somebody else to pay those consequences. Right? And that's it. I mean, there's nothing else around it. Snitching is not, me telling on somebody because I was involved in something, I was duped into a scenario, or I was manipulated into a situation that I was unaware of the full extent of the consequences. Not because of my ignorance, but because of my trust. So, for example, right, I'm the girlfriend of a boyfriend drug dealer, and he comes to me and he tells me, listen, baby, I got my homeboy coming over here to drop off my Nikes. Just take my Nikes and just put them on the top shelf with the rest of my Nikes. Right? Okay. Of course. Yeah, baby, yeah. When he comes by, I'll get him and put him on the top shelf, this and that. Boom. Now, dude comes. It's somebody that she's never seen before, but she really don't question it. I guess maybe she may say, you know what, I'll talk to him later about it. Like, who the fuck was that dude? But she's going to get the shoes, and she's going to put them on the top shelf. Now, unknowingly, right, she just committed, an act of conspiracy. She is helping her drug dealer boyfriend, further his process unknowingly. So now when he gets busted, she is not snitching on him for telling anybody what happened that day. And now again, that's my opinion. Some people may look at that differently. But in my opinion, when you're put in a position that you unknowingly know the consequences, you're manipulated into a situation such as I just described. The boyfriend comes in, tells her to pick up the shoebox, that it says Nikes, homeboy's dropping it off, but it's really a kilo of dope. She don't know that. So is she supposed to take that rap? Is she supposed to go to prison and change her life for something unknowing? That's up to that individual. That's really up to that individual and what they want to do with their life. But in my opinion, that's not snitching. Now, what snitching is me accepting to do that very act, right? Me as the girlfriend saying, now the boyfriend comes and say, baby, listen, I need you to do something. My homeboy's going to come and drop a brick off, right? And when he drops his brick off, it's going to be in a shoebox. I just need you to take the shoebox and put it with the rest of the shoes, right? Now, she's fully aware of what's going on, and she has that choice to say, motherfucker, I'm not touching that shoebox. But when she accepts that deal, right, that acceptance, that agreement, you see, and now she comes, she gets the shoebox, bam, they rush, she gets arrested. Now she wants to tell on the boyfriend and play innocent because now she don't want to go to jail. Well, that is snitching by all definitions. So there's a definite difference, right? It's just laying in your own bed. You know you made the choice to do wrong, and if you made that choice, it doesn't matter if you can't stand the consequences or not, then it's snitching, and it's too bad. Oh well, you should have thought about that first. See, that's the state that I'm in now. The state that I'm in now is that I can't do that time, because now when they give me that time again, right, it's one more bid. I only got one more bid, and that's it. And I can't do that. I would rather do that bid out here. I have a little bit more freedom out here than I do in there. And I'd rather do the bid out here. And and I can't. So I know, right? I don't even want to do it. I don't even want to be put in that position. So I'm not gonna put myself in that position. I'm gonna do what I have to do out here, whatever it takes to eat, you know, and follow my dreams. And I'm not gonna let anybody persuade that or pull me off that square. So it's it's knowing, right, that you can't do the time. And see, not everybody can do that because you have people out here, right, these spoiled ass kids now coming up that want their cake and they want to eat it as well. They want the glamour life. They want everything that comes with that G life, right? The pretty women, which aren't really so pretty. They're just porcelain dolls, in my opinion, and from my experience, right? Because they're just as empty and shallow as I am, or as I was. And it's all a facade. It's all a rap video. You know what I mean? And these kids are coming up and not, and oh, let me go back. I don't want to connect that life to rap videos, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to associate, music, especially videos and such, to what is going on, because I don't agree with music being a gateway to that type of lifestyle. For me, that music has always been an expression. Music, when I was growing up, and I grew up with NWA, Eazy-E, and all of, just all, and all of the guys, Master P and all of them. But what I'm saying is, none of that had an influence over me. If anything that had an influence or was impressionable upon me, it was Hollywood. It was the movies more than anything, but not the music. For me, the music was more of a connection that I bonded with, and I just understood. It was like the music understood me, So for me, it was a lot of direction. It was a lot of instruction, and music was a learning thing. So I never want to assimilate music to bad influences. So with that being said, going on now, what I mean when I say that life was is that type of lifestyle is a rap video, is it's a facade, in the sense that what you're watching isn't most lifestyle. It might be a party or two, or the upper tier lifestyle such, but it's just a dream that we chase. And then when we realize, right, that the dream wasn't as fulfilling as what we thought it was when we got into it, we get mad. And now when we're looking at this time, it doesn't equate in our mind, like, man, shit, all of them years I wasn't having that much fun to do all of them years, And this is what happens is we live emotionally, in the sense that we want these things, right? We want the nice cars and the nice women and the jet life and the fuck you money and all of this stuff. Of course, everybody wants it. I know I damn sure want it. But it's not chasing it, and this is what I'm finding in life is the more I sit back and the more I concentrate on working on myself and bettering myself, is the more that I see things coming to me. I see things coming to me that I've spent a whole lifetime chasing. And when I sit back and I analyze and I look at life, man, let me tell you something. A lot of times when I'm analyzing life and I'm trying to understand some of my carnal decisions, right? Like my instincts, I always refer to the animal kingdom. No lie. I refer to the animal kingdom and I watch shows, man, because I've grown up watching the animal kingdom my whole life, nature, things of that. And animals is us in our purest form. We are animals only with thought. If you take away our thought process, then what you see on TV as animals doing their natural element is the same thing that we would do. Reaction, right? Everything is just based off momentary reaction because there's no thought process. So it's just everything is just reactive, right? So when I say that, and I reflect back and I think about how reflective and reactive my life has been, right? I can very well understand how an individual can put themselves in a situation that they didn't expect the outcome of. And what ends up happening is you end up getting into a dilemma where, like I explained earlier, you start to feel like the reward didn't outweigh the consequences. And now you don't want to do it. Now I don't want to do it. So once you start getting into that mindset of now you don't want to do it, now you start looking for a way out. You know what I mean? Instead of just saying to yourself, like, I put myself into this, man, and I have to see it through, man. I have to see it through. Even though what I am looking at, I never saw coming, it doesn't matter. I made the choice that day. And how can I send another person to prison and disrupt another family's life, right? And when I did it, it was my fault. And then now you have people that like, man, shit, I don't care. It's me or nothing. And again, when you have a me or nothing attitude, right, it's me or nothing, then you're doomed. It's a doomed life, and you're already in prison. So it doesn't matter if you snitch, if you don't snitch. It doesn't matter. As long as you're in that mentality of it's me or nothing, you are already in prison. You've imprisoned yourself in a box that you're not going to be able to get out of until you unlock it yourself. And the only way you're going to do that is to get out of that me first mentality, in that sense, in a material sense. Now, if you have a me first, mentality in a spiritual sense, you're on the right path, but not everybody's got that. So we will have, until you get into that mix of where it's me first spiritually, but not me first materially. And we live in this lifestyle of materialism, right? That's what we're lost in, because this is what our eyes see. Our eyes see the physical. And when our eyes see the physical is what registers to the brain. And when it registers to the brain that this is all that the eyes see, is all of existence, then it makes you just want to grab everything that your eyes see because it's pretty and it's shiny. And then the people on the TV tell you that it's something that you should have. So you want to run out and you want to get it. And then you want to hurt people and you want to trample people in the middle of Walmart during Christmas time to get a little fuzzy thing that runs on batteries and laughs at you. And this is what we do. This is what's going on with this PS5 now. I mean, I play the PS5. I can't even get the PS5, man. The thing came out before Christmas. I can't even get it. I'm not going to sweat it. I'm not going to pay no extra money for it. When it comes, it comes. And this is my point. See, before, back in the day, I would have went and paid 3 times the amount for it just to have it. But now, right, it's like, it'll come to me when it comes. When it's meant for me to have it, it'll come. But people go in, they get anxious about their children, things of that nature. They go in, they stomp people, they kick people. Next thing you know, some little ladies grabbing one, the last one, and then some big bully comes, snatches it out of her hand. Then you have some hero jumping over the counter wanted to save it for grandma, and next thing you know, you got a big tussle going on in front of Walmart, and somebody's going to jail. And then you're sitting in jail, and now you're looking at assault charges, and you're thinking, well, damn, what the hell? I got a business, I got all of this stuff, all of this over a PS5 and a crazy, man. People are fucking nuts out here, man, for real. And we're doing it all. We're allowing it to happen to us because of media, because of stigma. And all of that boils into snitches and why we snitch. And it has to stop, because what I'm trying to do with my word, what I'm trying to do with my message is get it out how we the people are causing our own dilemmas. We're bringing all of this shit onto us, man. We're bringing all of this shit onto us, and the way that we're bringing it onto us is because they, the people that Biden claims, right, when he said we the people, they got the game on lock. And what that means is this shit is like an ant farm to them, right? This shit is like an ant farm to them, and we're just a bunch of ants scurrying around thinking we're doing something, right? I mean, we're busting our ass every damn day building a house in a little glass container, being analyzed and watched and all this shit, right? So this is what we know. Okay. With that being said, right, we the people, the true people, have to understand that we that are in this ant farm, we have to work together, right? Instead of all of us trying to build a bunch of small little ant farms within the ant farm, we have to just build an ant farm and then figure out how to bust out of that bitch, if that makes any sense, right? And of course, the owner of the ant farm understands that that's our goal, right? Because that would be his goal if he was in the ant farm. So therefore, in order to prevent that from happening, he has to keep us all in small little pockets of ant farms, because one little ant farm is not going to break out of this thick ass glass, So how does he do that? Well, he manipulates it so that each ant farm may get a different food or whatever. However it works, however these fucking ants move around. I don't know. It's not about the fucking ants. It's about, what it's about is the fact that we are divided, and it's manipulated to be so that we are divided. And that's my point. And the manipulation comes through the only channel that it can reach everybody all at once in many different forms, fashions, and ideas, all under the same umbrella, which is division. And look what we do. We keep yelling, we're divided. And then these people are up on the stage talking about, oh, we need to come together. We need to come together. We need to bring everything together. We need to unite as Americans. Hail Americans. Unity is what we need. I mean, we hear this all the time, man. And I know y'all got to be sick of it, man, for real. For real. I know I'm sick of it. So, getting back to the snitches, right? Where y'all play a role at is that when y'all are out here doing this thing, you are feeding that agenda. How do you feed the agenda of division? Because you yourself are divided to the utmost degree to where it's just you amongst everybody else. Does that make sense? So because you are in the mentality of me and only me first, you are therefore the utmost of divided. And that's how they have you thinking. And the question is why is it you only first? Because you're not getting the material stuff that you see everybody else having. And you just want it, and you want it now. That's why you started selling drugs or doing whatever it is that you're doing for the fast money without putting in no hard work. That's what I was doing. So I can only assume. Not everybody's, of course, in the same position. And I do understand, and I'm not here to judge, but keeping it real is keeping it real. You know what I mean? We're in the game to make money, a lot of money, fast money, and I don't want to bust my ass for no nobody. I want to bust my ass for me. I don't want to bust my ass for nobody. So in order to do that, I don't have the skill set, and I don't have the time, I don't have the patience to build myself educationally, because that shit takes years, and I need money now because I'm hungry. Man, I get it. I understand all of that stuff, man. But what can I say? You know, you do what you got to do, but you do things with a goal of not doing it for long, getting out and bettering your life, so you don't have to go back to hurting people, man, because that's what drug dealing does. Hurts people, man. It hurts a lot of people. And that's another thing that we got to stop, man, because again, ask, why are these people letting the drugs into our nation? Why do they let the drugs come in? For division, to keep us on the low end, again, committing crimes against each other, high all the time. When you're high, you're emotional, and it's just a gumbo, man. It's a good old New Orleans deep South gumbo, man, that has been stewed for many, many, many years, and the recipe has been perfected, and they don't stray from it. And we've been all eating that same damn gumbo, man. So, back to the snitching. Am I making any sense, though? Am I connecting the dots? Is people getting it? Is it going to make a difference? Are you going to understand that by you snitching, me going across the street and telling it on the person across the street, right? And let me use a different example again, because I don't want to confuse things, because that's a bad scenario. So I define the snitching. I'm not going to define it again. But so because, right, you're a snitch and you don't want to do the time, right? What ends up happening is you get used like a dog. You are now government property. You're not whoever you once were. That person that you were is now under lock and key and contract with the government agency that he chooses to work with, to be used and abused in any way that they deem necessary. These people will call you 3 o'clock in the morning, drag you out of your house, have you go on runs, want you to point out people. They'll put wires on you, stick you in clubs. They'll put you in dangerous situations to buy from killers, man, that really don't care about anything but feeding their family. And they don't care, because why? It's not them. You're the bad guy. You made the choice to do bad, and now you owe. So you can either go to prison or you can pay your debt back to society. So what are these guys doing, right? These coppers, the whole time that you're doing this? What are they doing? How are they running their investigation? You know, well, you are the investigation. You're the snitch. You're the star. You're the star of the show. And their investigation depends on your snitch level, your snitching capabilities. So you are doing their job. These people getting $80, $90, $100,000 a year, you know, to sit back and just keep in contact with you, just to watch you. Where's my snitch? Where are my snitches? Where's my snitches at? And that's what they do. And they ride around all day and check up on their snitches. That's what they do. That's what they're getting paid for. Then they take all this information when they have enough, and they take it to the prosecutor, who's been sitting back drinking coffee and working on all her other cases, or his cases, I should say. I always say her because mine was a prosecutor. My prosecutor was a female. I want to say so much, but I'm going to leave it at that. So Because of that, that trickle down effect, now you are now doing the officer's job. He's collecting all the information you're bringing to him. He's taking it to the prosecutor. They're cross analyzing it, making sure that it's legit, because after all, it is their career, and this is where kind of the real work comes in, because they just have to cross reference, make sure that you're not trying to trip them up, make them look like fools, and that's it. They take it to the grand jury. Grand jury, they all sit around, discuss how each other's weekend was. Of course, you never know who the grand jury is. You're not allowed to know who the grand jury is. You're not allowed to have any attorneys there. It's strictly just the lead agent and the prosecutor, and then these 12 unknown motherfuckers that they fly in from Mars, right? And these 12 unknown Martians sit around and delegate on whether they want to indict you or not. And that's it. And that's how it happens. That's how it happens. Just like that. And now, because you get indicted, right? And then the secret society of Martians, figure out that you've committed this crime based upon what this lead agent described and what this prosecutor described, and it was based upon what the snitch was out running around and what he described. And now I get my door kicked in, my family laid down on the ground, my whole house wrecked and thrown in jail, and then a lot of times false accusations are thrown at me, which amps up my charges. Then I have to defend against that, right? All as a diversion to take me away from the original charge. Again, it's all a game that these people play. This is why they stack, one of the reasons why they stack 15, 20 charges on you. Again, to distract you and to keep your mind and your defense team busy on like fighting 18 heads, 15 heads, however many charges it is, And some people are like, man, just fuck that, man. Who I gotta take down? Who y'all looking for? Who I need? Strap me up. Let me go. I'll go get them. Take me to another city. Take me to another city and put me up, man. I'll go. You take down your own brothers and sisters out there trying to eat just like you were, and because you fucked up. You know what I'm saying? You made bad choices. You gonna fuck this man's life up or this woman's life up. Man, I seen dudes put away their own fathers, man. Tell on their own fathers. Snitch out their own fathers, gave their own father 10 damn years, man. It's disgusting. But that's where we're at, and it's rampant. And again, it has to stop. And how does it stop? It stops with stealth. It stops with self. It stops. Let me get something to drink, man. That thing is done. I don't want no backwash. Can I get a plug? Can I get a plug? That thing is good. It's tingling. So, the results of what snitching gets you, and I know because, I had to face these challenges myself, I've shared, there's a lot on my channel that is there. And the thing of it is that I've been through this, and I can well understand how somebody can get in the position that they're in. And I had to look at myself and I had to ask myself, could I do it? Because I was facing a whole heap of time I was facing a whole heap of time, man. And oh, excuse me. So I was facing a whole heap of time, man, and everybody around me, all of my homeboys were my partners that I grew up with, man, were just running around cutting people's heads off like samurai ninjas, man. Like these people were ruthless. They didn't care. They was wiping out communities, man. Why they didn't care, man? I mean, they were out on the block with big bags of dope, knowing the whole spot was hot, and they're the only ones out there with big bags of dope. They didn't care, did not care. But this one no really spot where you could fear like that, you know. And I guess that's what gave these kids big nuts. But that's how rampant it was, man, and that these dudes were telling on everybody, and everybody was coming to me, you know, just tell them what they want to know. Just work with them people, man. Just work with them, man. Why is you giving them a hard time? It don't make no sense. Nobody's giving them a hard time. Why are you doing it? At the end of the day, it's because, right, when I look myself in the mirror and I ask myself if I could do it, can I live the rest of my life knowing I'm a snitch? I couldn't do it. Just to even say that, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. There was no way. And with that, I'd be putting myself in prison for the rest of my life. And that's what I was facing at that time anyhow. To me, there was no difference. There was no difference. So I rode the boat, man, and I told these people, man, get the hell away from me. It's not happening, you know? And man, let me tell you, not only did it save my life, but it changed me in a sense that, man, I can walk around with my head up, looking up and my chest out, because I know that I walked through a fire that in the federal system 99.5% couldn't walk through. Excuse me, man, I've been drinking this ginger ale, Canada Dry. But that's the thing, is that I've been walking through this fire, man. I can hold my head up, my chest out, and I could be proud that, man, I rode my time out, and God blessed me at the end and gave me 4 years off my sentence for standing true, man. And I believe that, you know. And even though that these dudes, like, when I sit back and I look at it, and these dudes that all snitched on me, right, they all got out 8 months, 2 years, 3 years down the road. Man, most of them caught new charges. Their lives are a wreck because they done put themselves in prison for life. Every time they hear a Scarface song that they like, they know they can't listen to it because it grinds them, it eats them alive, you know. And I'm just happy that I made the decision that I had, you know, that I made. And to get into what snitching results in, where it gets you, not only does it get you into that mental prison for the rest of your life, but there's nowhere you can go inside. It makes your time 100 times harder. It makes everything harder. It makes your time so much harder because depending on how much time you got, what your criminal history is, things of that nature, right? You're going to be going to some serious yards. And as soon as you hit that yard, you know, they're going to know. There's no way you can hide it. Doesn't matter what your attorney tells you. Your attorney's going to tell you, oh, we'll have your docket sealed. We'll have this stuff covered up. Don't listen to your attorney, man. Don't listen to nobody. You want to listen to people because you want them to tell you what you want to hear so you'll snitch. But don't listen to them people, man, because them people, at the end of the day, they go home to their family. But you got to go home with killers. And you got to go home with killers that are looking for people like you. because they're in there because of people like you. So you always have to factor that in and remember, before you tell and before you rat and before you snitch, right? Is that the type of lifestyle I want, man? Trust me, when I tell you, man, listen, the time is not that bad. I know we watch this stuff and we see this stuff on TV and we see all these things, but the time isn't that bad, man, that you have to jeopardize the rest of your life in living a lie, right? Because nobody's gonna say that they're a snitch. No, who says that? I've never heard anybody say. Well, okay, let me take that back. I heard one person in my lifetime ever come out and say, man, fuck that shit. I'm a rat. I'm a snitch. Call me what you want. But the point that I'm making is that nobody wants to be that. And nobody's going to come out and just say that, right? So you're living a life of a lie, and it's because of stigma, man. It's because of this stigma that we put on prison with cops and locked up and all of this shit that always wants to show us as crazy individuals. That when you come in, man, we're gonna beat you, we're gonna rape you, we're gonna rob all your shit, you're never gonna get nothing. It's not like that. It can be, again, it very well can be, and it can be very quickly, right? Life can get very ugly very quick, right? But again, it's in what you make it, right? It's all in what you make it, and it's on the individual. And that's the thing, man, is on the individual, man, that does the time. And it's how you do your time. And it's what your charge is, and it's how you stood as a person, as a human being, right? Did I stand up for what I believe in? Did I stand strong? Did I stay true to myself? Am I a respectful human being? Things of this nature. The just the 3 cardinal sins, man. You don't snitch, you don't lie, and you don't steal. You just keep everything real. Those are the 3 cardinal sins that you can commit in prison that will turn your life upside down very, very quickly. And trust me, I've seen it in a lot of men that thought that they were as bad as they wanted to be. Some of these men you even see on some of these channels, man, that they're just straight killers. But trust me when I say, man, until and you're in that corner and you're surrounded and you're in a life or death situation, you don't know what you're capable of, and you don't know what that next individual is capable of. Because when a person is cornered, they're cornered. So with that being said, when you enter the prison system as a snitch, your life is already upside down. You don't even have a chance. People's not even going to give you the opportunity, right, to even speak. As soon as you hit that yard, the first person that comes up to you, I guarantee you, within 5 minutes, this person's asking you what you're in prison for. Guaranteed. It's just what it is. Hey, Tony, man, hey, what's going on? So, how long you got? Oh, man, you got 20 years, huh? Okay. Where you coming from? Oh, okay. Yeah. Did you go to trial? Did you plea out? That's the question. Did you go to trial? Did you plea out? If you went to trial, you're pretty much clean right there. They're going to find out that you went to trial, things of that nature. But did you plea out? I pled out. Okay. All right. Now you start to get into more details. Okay. Well, what we're going to need then is your PSI. Now, what your PSI is, your pre-sentence investigation, that it's a report that's put together by a probation officer, right? A PSI probation officer that describes all of the events from the beginning of the investigation to the end of the investigation. And within all of those events, it will show who the informants are, such and such as it pertains to you and your part of the case. So it's your PSI. So they're going to ask for your PSI. Now, PSIs are tricky. They can be manipulated, things of that nature. They can be made to look real, but they're really not. And a lot of prisons, it's very hard to get the PSI in, right? And we know that as real dudes that are really trying to check paperwork and not just, politic the paperwork, but we're really trying to check the paperwork. So we won't even ask for the PSI. What we'll ask for is the sentencing transcripts. We'll say, okay, well, it takes 2 weeks to order your sentencing transcripts. There's no reason why the prison can't give it to you. It's legal work. You're allowed to have it. It comes in, and the sentencing transcripts describes everything that happens at your sentencing. Any sentence reductions that you're available to is described in those transcripts. Any time off that you get for any type of cooperative behavior, everything is in the sentencing transcripts. There's no way to get around that, right? Now they can seal those. They can have those sealed, things of that nature. But again, it doesn't stop. So it's not like I'm going to say, okay, well, let me get your sentencing transcripts, and you're going to say, oh, well, they were sealed. And people have said that. Man, they were sealed. What do you want me to do? And you just expect me to say, oh, okay, homie, don't worry about it. You're all right. As long as they were sealed, it's okay. No, that's not on me. That's on you. You're here in the yard. You have to provide your paperwork. If you had them sealed, you had them sealed to hide something, right? You're not having things sealed to hide the fact that you went to trial or you didn't cooperate. You had them sealed for a specific reason. And to make my life a little bit easier as to know who I got around me, I would like to know what they were sealed for, And at this time, because I'm a fair person, I always have my paperwork present with them, so they could, like, this is my paperwork. I need yours right next to mine, And there's no avoiding it. You're not getting around it. They're going to know. And so what ends up happening is the guy says, yeah, let me go do this or do that, and they'll go to the lieutenant. They'll tell the lieutenant, listen, right, I'm having problems. I need off the compound. I don't feel safe. Now, again, you got to snitch some more, because the lieutenant's not just going to say, all right, sir, well, let me just come and let me just, lock you up and whatever, and we'll just protect you. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. What's going to happen is he's going to ask you, well, who's pressing you? Why do you feel scared? And you're going to have to tell him, well, I just went in my celly's room and my celly was just pressing me for the paperwork. Now, you done snitched out your celly again, because I'm not allowed to ask for paperwork. I'm not allowed to press people for their paperwork. Again, that's extortion, and they're going to raid me. They're going to lock me up as being a, some sort of politic person, and it's going to make my life worse, all because I just want to know who's around me. I don't want a snitch mentality around me, because I know what kind of mentality that is. As we discussed from the beginning, that is a me and me only mentality. And that's the main thing about it. And I don't want that type of mentality around me. And so that is what you're going to experience in prison. You're not going to have no friends other than child molesters, other rats, rapists, things of that nature, because they've all been ostracized as well. And you'll be in that group. You won't watch TV. If you do watch TV, you have to watch it from afar. You'll never have a chair up towards the front of the room, And these are on compounds that you'll be able to walk on, right? My nose keep itching, man. I'm not picking my nose, I promise. My nose is itching, man. So you're not going to be able to do any of that. And the point of what it is that I'm getting to, right, is by snitching and working with the government, sure, you're going to get out of prison faster. Your time's going to be 3 times harder, but you're going to get out 3 times faster. And if that's how you want to do your time, that's fine. That's on you if you make it out. And if you make it out in one piece, the same way you went in. But what it's going to do is it's not going to allow you to better yourself. It's not going to allow you to grow. It's not going to allow you to educate because you can't go to the library. Only on certain times that the child molesters and whatnot go to the library. And that's when the punks go to the library. Well, let me take that back. I'm sorry. And I don't mean no disrespect. That's what we call them inside. So when I say punks, I do mean homosexuals, but that's just a habit of nature that I call them. It's no disrespect. I don't mean nothing by it. And I know I'm smiling because, listen, I got to watch what I say, man, because these people come after me, man. But I do mean that in a good way because, listen, for real, all jokes aside, some of these homosexuals, and I'm just going to call them punks. I'm sorry. I can't call them homosexuals. I'm just going to call them punks. These prison punks. But some of these dudes are more convicts and hard convicts, man. Like these dudes were, and I mess with these dudes because they made things happen and they knew people and there were connections. But I want to just say that, that I fuck with these dudes on that front, right? Convict front, because they move things, they shake things. These people are convicts. But with that being said, they go to the library at nighttime, and you have some in there that'll cold knock somebody's slap out. So the point is if that's what you want to do, you want to go to the library, you're going to be around child molesters, you're going to be around these homosexuals, and it's just wild. It's a party, and you might enjoy it. Who knows? It might be your type of thing. It just wasn't mine. It just wasn't mine. But you're not gonna get the proper education to grow of self, and it's just nothing positive comes from it. Nothing positive comes from snitching. Nothing positive comes from bringing down another human being at the expense of your carelessness, your erroneous actions, your bad choices, your ignorance, whatever. Nothing good will ever come to you when you do that. The only thing is you get out of prison faster. That's the only thing. And these days you get welcomed home. I mean, all the dudes in my case, man, these people were welcomed home. They were given parties. These people flew balloons and planes with big banners, welcome home, snitch, and all of this stuff, man. And when I came home, I had crickets. But you know what? That's the way I wanted it. That's the way I wanted it. I didn't want to fuck with nobody. And I didn't want nobody to know I came home. I just wanted to slide in and slide out, man. And get the hell out of that rat-ass town. Because that was crazy. And the point of this, I guess, is not to really judge people. I know I'm being hard because snitching is flat out wrong. It's wrong on all accounts. There's no justifiable reason why you have to snitch. We gave the examples from the beginning as to what snitching was and what wasn't. So, when you're caught off guard, you're manipulated into a situation, you're not snitching on nobody. You're protecting yourself. Like I was unaware of what these consequences were. So therefore, I'm not doing your time. But when you know that you made a conscious choice to do something that can be detrimental to you, and it's illegal, it's bad, and that it's an unfavorable outcome. When you know that you make that choice, you have to be the big enough person to live in that choice, no matter what the consequences are. because you're destroying communities. You're making the cops' jobs easier. You're feeding the agenda of the government to keep us divided. You're keeping your neighbor down. It's all about self and ego and materialism, right? What else? What good comes from snitching? What good can somebody describe to me that I could sit back and say, you know what? I could see that as a good reason to snitch. But what are we gonna do again? Because again, we live in a physical life, man. That's where we're stuck at. We're stuck in a physical life because our eyeballs see physical things, and in our mind we think that that's the only thing that exists is what our eyeballs perceive, and it makes me want to have all of this shiny stuff. And we get stuck in that, man. So what are we gonna do? You know, are we gonna keep feeding these people's agenda and then still getting up here on the YouTube and having these channels talking about, oh, I want to talk to politicians. Oh, I want to talk to these politicians, man. Stop it. These politicians don't want to talk to you, man. The politicians do not want to talk to us. They only do it because they need our votes. That's the only reason. If they didn't need our votes, these people wouldn't give a damn what we said. They would tell us what to do. And this is why they're trying to take away the rights that they're trying to take away so they could do that. So there is no sense of us sitting here talking to politicians about anything until they start showing that they deserve our time to discuss these issues. And that's how it's supposed to be. They're supposed to act, and we're supposed to respond to their action. But instead, we're expecting these people to do what we want them to do, and they're not going to do it because it's not their agenda. Bringing down, reforming prison is not their agenda at all. Not at all. What their agenda is getting the guns out of our hands, right? Getting the guns out of our hands, getting as many Americans under their umbrella as they can by giving us felony charges, right, and making us subjected to their policies now, right, that they've already put in place for felons, right, and to keep us divided so that we now can be suppressed, oppressed, our rights stripping away, and then there's no more middle class. You just have upper class and you have lower class. The lower class feeds the upper class. Next thing you know, we're sitting here in Hunger Games and we're running around killing people for the enjoyment of these people up here eating a little caviar and Ritz crackers with their funny haircuts and their funny dresses that we're seeing these people come out with now. It's happening, man. This shit is what's really going on, and people are asleep to this shit. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know? But that's what it is, man. These motherfuckers are out here psycho, man. And it's they're so intent on only what they want in that moment that they don't even think about the repercussions that come behind their actions of what they're doing in that moment. We're out here destroying our own communities, man. I'm out here trying to build up a business and I, you know, somebody may come and just build down and just tear down my business because I'm a white guy, and they may look at me with a bald head and tattoos and kind of big and call me a racist, and next thing I know I got 600 motherfuckers out here throwing bottles at my business. You know, and this is what's going on. And it's not to say that a person is or isn't racist, but all I'm saying is that there's a lot of miseducation going on. There's a lot of things being labeled that is, that really isn't, and it's causing all of these emotions that's causing us to go out and create all of these actions of division, which is what the government wants. I don't know how to spell it out any more than that, man. You know? What are we going to do, man? We're going to keep knocking each other out, destroying our communities, snitching on each other, putting each other in prison, helping them feed their wars and feed their drug importations and their illegal gun activities and all of this stuff. right? Because that's what prisons are. That's what they feed. The prison's inception was all about building America, building the railroads, building, you know, these large corporations down, along the Sun Belt and all of that. That's what it was about. When do you think it stopped? When do you think it changed? You really, really think that it changed the rehabilitation? Come on, man. This dude was preaching on the stage about how sorry he was about his bill, about his crime bill, about how sorry he was about his crime bill, how detrimental it was to the urban community, this crime bill. That's all we heard this dude say, man, the whole voting process. Man, you ain't heard this dude say nothing about this crime bill since he's been in office, man. Come on, people, wake up, man. Stop snitching on each other. Stop doing the work of the police. Make these people work. There's a lot of mad people at the police. You're mad at the police. Defund the police. Make them work. Damn defunding them. Make them work, man. Try that. Get them out of the donut shops and make them do what they're supposed to do. Again, I'm under the moniker of there are no good cops. And I'm imploring, I'm trying to find conversation with cops that want to come on and debate me about that. And I just don't believe that there are, and I have reasons for that. It's not to say that there's not good people in uniforms, but when you put that uniform on, you become a different person than when you take it off. You may take it off and be a good man. You may be a damn good man, but when you put that uniform on, are you still that same man? When you see bad as you see bad, are you going to take bad down that you swore that you would do when you put that uniform on? It doesn't matter who it is. You're supposed to be protecting me. You're supposed to be protecting me. I'm what you're supposed to be protecting and serving. But because I'm big and bald and I got tattoos and I got a criminal record, you don't want to protect me as much as you want to do the next person, right? Or you want to come at me like I'm the criminal in the offense. And I may just be an innocent bystander, right? You're supposed to protect me, man. Officers, you come from me. You come from the street. You come from the street, right? You come from civilian life and you're brought into government life, right? But you brought into that government life to protect me, right? Not to hurt me, not to assault me, not to accuse me, not to beat me, not to take your own personal problems out on me, not to assume on me. You're not there to do none of that other than just to protect me, right? Sometimes you have to take me down to protect me. I understand. Sometimes I'm out of control. Sometimes I'm drunk, I'm high, I'm stupid. I understand. You got to take me down. But I ask that you protect me, right? Because that's what you're there for. You don't kill me. You're not there to kill me, right? Now, if I'm trying to kill you, and trust me, man, I've been in situations where dudes were trying to kill me. I know what trying to kill me looks like. And I know that when I was in those situations that there was no holding back because this dude was trying to kill me. I understand those situations. And anyone that is within that type of training and that skill that officers are supposed to be in, they understand when somebody's trying to kill them, right? So it's a dangerous job, and I get it, right? And I do. And I'm not about defund the police. I'm not about that stuff, man, because I understand. I came from that life, and I know how ugly it is. I know how dangerous it is, and I understand. I really, really do, but what I'm talking about is what we have to stop is stop relying on snitches. Stop putting pressure on people to snitch because you don't want to do the job. Stop altering evidence because you know I'm a drug dealer, right? But you just can't prove it. You just can't catch me. So you want to throw salt in the game to get me off the street. That's not a good cop. That's not a good cop. Doing extra against the law, right? To break me, to jail me for breaking the law is not a good cop. If people may agree with me, I mean, this is just my opinion. You know, people may agree, they may disagree. This is just my opinion. But when you're breaking the law to do good, it's still breaking the law, you know? And that's what we have to get away from, because I know many of you detectives, man. I know many of you detectives do that. Prosecutors too. You prosecutors, man. Boy, you prosecutors. You guys need to cut it out, man. Stop it. Again, you were me. You were me. And I'm telling you, there's not a prosecutor that you can't tell me that have lived their life without ever committing a crime, right? So, because one person gets caught and the next doesn't, you know, prosecutors, man, you have to back up a little bit off that overzealousness, man. You have to stop trying to send people away for life, you know? You have to stop sending people away for life. 20 and 30 years. And you know that you do that. And you know what you do. And you have to stop that, you know? If this is truly about rehabilitation, you hitting me with 15 different charges and trying to make sure that I get the max on every charge, that's not rehabilitation. You know, that's not rehabilitation. We have to get back into building a society that's fair, that's just, and that is on the intent of making every individual a better person. You know, we have to get back into that. And until we get back into that, we're just going to keep getting worse. We're going to keep getting more egotistical. We're going to keep getting more materialistic. And we're going to keep getting further and further in despair, which is going to cause more division, which is going to cause more chaos. It was going to cause more crime, and was going to cause the government to come in and take more of our rights. This is what's been happening the last, I don't know, since I know 30 years. I mean, that's my experience. That's when I really kind of started paying attention, you know. And that's what I've seen with my own eyes. But as far historically, as far as I know, this shit has been going on since the 1700s, since we had the inception of what America was. And from my recollection and from my experience and my research, the whole thing was a sham to begin with. It was always a facade. The whole thing was a facade, man. This land of the free bit, right? Because not everybody was made free, and not everybody was included in that moniker, this land of the free. So, again, the whole thing was a sham, right? This whole thing was built on conspiracy, murder, slavery, greed, with the intention of what? But this is still the greatest country in the world. There's no question about that. This is still the greatest country in the world. This is still the only place in the world that I would want to call my home, that I'd feel safe enough to live in. And there's only two reasons why, right? And that's my First Amendment and my Second Amendment. And these people are trying to take both of those. Don't think that they're not. Don't think that they're not. People need to wake up, man. Stop taking down your neighbor. Stop hurting your neighbor. Black, white, brown, Asian, yellow, whatever color I didn't miss, man, whatever, man. Stop taking each other down. Stop hating each other because of that. Stop doing the job of the police. Stop making things easier for the government to come in and take our rights away. Start thinking, start thinking, start thinking. Start thinking about the consequences of what could happen. Start thinking about the consequences of what could happen and what this decision is going to lead into and what could happen beyond that. Think down the road, man. Don't think about tomorrow and the year after that. Man, think down the road. Think when you're 20, 30 years down the road. Put yourself like, where is this going to lead to? And stop worrying about the time. If you do a charge, if you go out and you commit a crime, Stop worrying about going to prison. Stop thinking that you're gonna go to prison and get raped. The only reason why you go to prison and get raped because you're a fuck boy. You deserve to get raped if that's the case. You know, if you're going there and you put yourself in positions to get yourself raped, that's what's gonna happen. It can happen, right? But if you're a stand-up dude, you live by a code, a creed, and you stand by it, and you're willing to die by it. That's the thing, man. If you're willing to die by what you believe in, that's all it takes. It's just being real. It's being a fucking man, and just owning up to what you did, getting through it, and making the best opportunity of it as I can. If you're going away for 5 years, 10 years, man, I feel you. It's a little stretch, but go and make the best of it, man. And you go and you educate and you make sure that when those 10 years go by, that you never ever put yourself in a position to have your life altered again. And that's what you do. Because if instead of going and doing the 10 years and you go do 3, you're not putting the education in, you're not changing, you're not learning, you're going to go home and you're going to do the same shit that you did to tell on motherfuckers to begin with, and then you're going to tell on more motherfuckers, and eventually the shit is going to end up catching up to you. And that's your life, man. That's your life. Now, it's not everybody's life. Some people have snitched, went home, changed their life, become ministers and all of these things, man, and whatever. Again, karma's gonna come back around. You're not going to hurt other people and it not come back to you. It's just, how does it come back to you, So that's it, man. That's all I got on snitching, man. I didn't get motherfucking body in here, but it doesn't matter because the message still got out, and that's what matters, right? Because I'm not in this for the viewership, man. And I'm not in this for clicks and likes. Yes, I want subscribers. Y'all subscribe to my channel, man. Don't sit here and watch this shit and not subscribe to my channel. But for real, this shit is about the message, man. This shit is about unity. This shit is about bringing people together that are in the same positions, and we're going through the same stressors, and we're seeing the same shit, but we're not helping each other out. And that's what this is about, So until then, man, listen, man. I love you guys, man. I love all my Americans. I love all humans. I love all life. See, can I stretch that any further? Love all life. I love the universe. I love the spiritual realm. I just love. So let's try that a little bit, man. Let's just try loving a motherfucker a little bit, Since the dawn of humanity, we've been beating up each other and killing each other. When the fuck have we ever just loved one another? Has that ever happened? Has there ever been a period in time where all humanity was just like fucking Avatar? You know what I mean? And I know what some of you motherfuckers are saying. Yeah, there was until white people came along. And that's not true. Even though it may look true, but it's not true, man. It's not true. We are good people. We're just misunderstood. Well, let me stop there, man. So, but for real. I love you guys, man. Let's stop the racism, man. All races are equal, man. You'll hear me joke about this crap. And I joke about it because it's silly, man. It's stupid. It's so fucking stupid. It's like talking to somebody about a flat earth. I'm just sitting there looking at somebody like, come on, man. Really? You honestly, seriously think that because your skin color is lighter or darker than that person, that it automatically makes you stronger? It automatically makes you smarter or whatever? Seriously, that's what you think because of the skin color. That's how I feel talking to these people. So it's ignorant, it's stupid. There's no scientific data behind it. There's no proof. People like to argue and say that there is, but when you get to the nuts and bolts, it's all bullshit, man. So put it to rest and know what it is and what it's there for, and it's been working It's been working like a charm. But the motherfuckers sitting up in that White House, man, and then people sitting around laughing, right? They go on and they make fun of each other and they talk bad about each other. And then they go behind the scenes, man. Them people up there drinking coffee, biscuits, and all that good old English shit. Tea, you know? And they're just laughing, man. They're laughing at us, man, because we're an ant farm. And we're out here busting our ass thinking that we're building something that we ain't building shit, man. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of that, you know? Like, I want to have shit too. I made mistakes in the beginning of my life, but I want to have shit too, you know? I like shiny things. I like to live comfortably. I like to live not knowing that, you know, these people are going to come turn something off next month or whatever, you know? Shit is stressful, but they know that. That's why they put all that stress on us. And them people up there eating caviar, man. So me, I'm gonna go bust open a mackerel, right? I'm gonna do it old style, man. I'm gonna go bust me open a mackerel and a soup and some crackers. Another plug. And a good old ginger ale, man. Holla at me, ginger ale. I'm gonna be somebody. Man, until then, let me end this shit. I'm out. Peace.